and this is Let's Talk Ministries. And tonight, this is the Noble Woman series. You know, it's Wednesday night. Hope everybody got their notebooks going on. Hopefully you got your notebooks going on. We're live on the radio station, MAG Christian Rap Radio, and then we're live on Instagram right now, and YouTube is in full effect, and I think we're working on Facebook. So, all right, so tonight is about the Noble Woman. I'm excited. I am totally excited tonight. A lot of things have been happening in my life. God is, I'm telling you, when you start asking God about different things about yourself, get ready, because He wholeheartedly, when you start asking God about different things about yourself, He is going to start letting you know, revealing them and everything, you know, and He has been revealing a whole lot to me lately, and I mean, I'm open to it. I can hear His voice, I hear Him speaking, and it's amazing, because I think back, like, okay, because I ain't gonna lie, I've backslid before in life. And so when I remember being saved before, though, and it was like I was more, I think I was more religious, as they call it. I was more of a religious, and I wasn't quite living the way I should have been living at the time. And why? I guess I was living actually with men's rules. I would say men's rules. I call them men's rules, because I was basically doing what man would say do. And so I was doing what men would say do. I would do what men would say do. And okay, just was trying to make sure that everything is going. So it's on YouTube. Okay, so all right then. So well, anyways, so I'm just excited tonight. Okay, so okay, back to what I was saying. So I was living by men's rules. I call it men's rules, because anytime you take your earrings out after you leave the church, and then put your or take your earrings on when you go inside the church, and then you come back outside of the church and put your earrings back on when you get in the car, and then you take all your dresses and throw them away. That was basically men's rules. So I was basically trying to fit in, you know, with the crowd, fit in with everybody else that was in the church that had they was all wearing dresses down to their knees, and not down to their knees, actually past their knees. And so I was basically trying to fit in, and I didn't want to stand out. I wanted to fit in, and that's what I was doing. So, but I think about speeding up. I think about now, man, it's just a total different situation with God and me now. It's totally different. I'm going to say this. I've been through a lot. You know what I'm saying? I've been through a lot, and I know now why I went through all those things. I know why now. I mean, I don't know. As everything unfolds, I'm beginning to see why I went through those things. Man, but it's incredible, because at the same time, it's like God is using it for His glory. And a lot of these things that I went through, I look at them differently now. It's like God's giving me wisdom on it, you know, like wisdom on different things that I had went through versus now when I'm going through it now. You know what I'm saying? If I end up going through that, or you know what I'm saying? It's just it's different. It's amazing. It's really amazing. And then the opinion of what God feels about us is totally amazing, because God sees us different than everybody else does. I used to be like, I ain't gonna lie, I used to be like, God is this type of person who was sitting up in heaven. He's waiting to punish you. You know, He doesn't want you doing this. He doesn't want you doing this. I would talk to Him like basically, you know, I would use these big words, try to use these big words. And I was like, there was things I was going through, and I'd be like, God can't, He can't, this was before. I was like, God can't relate. He can't relate to what I'm saying. I'm down here talking like, you know, a normal person. You know, I don't have a PhD and all that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I got a college degree, but it's like I can't talk to God. He can't relate. He can't relate. But now, His opinion is totally different about what I felt, you know, at the time. And His opinion is like this. You could come to me about anything. You know what I'm saying? You can come to me about anything, all the way down to, your women parts. You know what I'm saying? That's how God is. You could come to me about anything. And I tell you, I say this. I was so broken at times in my life, and just destroyed nearly. You know what I'm saying? To the point where, but here's the thing, what God said. He said it was just a season. It was just a season. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't, oh, these bangs. Okay, let me see if we got it going on now. Let's see. Okay, I think I got it right now. I can't have them in my eyes. I have no bangs in my eye. Can't see. I can't see if they're in my eyes. But anyways, it was just a season. That's what God is telling me. It was just a season. Don't let a season ruin your whole life. I have so much more for you. So much. You know what I'm saying? There is so much. And those things that you went through, I'm thinking, I wasted my life. My life was wasted. You know, I was in my 20s and my 30s and, you know, my teens, and I wasted all my teens, and I wasted all my, you know. And you know what I said? I said, I didn't have a lot of fun because I was, you know, I was locked down. And I'm not talking about having fun like being a wild, crazy person. I'm talking about just living your life. You know, like how you just live your life and do what you want to do. Well, a lot of them times I was in a relationship. So I was like, I wasted them, and then it didn't work. You know, of course I'm not, you know, now, but I'm saying, I was like, you know, told God, and this is what I mean when I say you can talk to God about anything. Because I said, I wasted my life, and, you know, and I wasted my life on, you know, this and that, you know, on different things. And God was like, but those things are used for my glory. And then also, he said this, there's a lot of people that you grew up with, and had you kept running with them people when you was a teenager, you probably would have been in jail. So a lot of times, some of the things that we go through in life keep us from harm's way. You know, like we feel like I was locked down. You know, we call it locked down. Like if you was married or you was in a relationship, or you know what I'm saying? I was locked down because I wasn't a street runner. I never ran the streets. You never see me. If you see me in the club, it would be every now and then. I was never a street runner or anything like that. I was basically a homebody, take care of my kids, making sure my kids was, you know what I'm saying? But I was saying this to God. I said, man, I feel like I've been cheated. I feel like I've been robbed. I feel like, you know, it was like, because all these people, they got times where they talk about the club or they was at the club. I mean, I have that too, but not as much as some of the people that I've encountered. And so I was like, I feel like I got robbed. And then I've never been out of the country, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, but I don't understand how I never been out of the country, and I've been married before and all this, you know, and you got all these couples talking about they was been out of town, you know, or out of the country. And God said this, he said, but what were you doing when you wasn't doing those things? And I said, raising my children. And then I look over my kids' life, and I was working, and I was, you know what I'm saying? And I was being a supervisor, and I was doing all these incredible things. And God said, you don't give yourself enough credit. And he spoke it through one of my oldest daughter. And actually he speaks that through my children a lot. But he spoke it and told me, you don't give yourself enough credit for the things that you have accomplished. You really don't. You're actually looking at other people's lives, and you're saying, you know, we're probably the same age, and you're saying, I was robbed. I was robbed, you know, because of some of them may still be with somebody that they started off with a long time ago, and I'm not. But God said, but that's your ministry. That's why you went through that, because that's your ministry. That's your calling, is relationships. You know what I'm saying? Like being in pain, being hurt, you know what I'm saying? Going through different things. He said, that's your purpose. I was actually, when you were going through those things, I was creating your purpose. You don't have to be perfect to have a purpose. You don't have to be perfect at all. See, I wanted to, you know, I missed this, I missed that. So I felt like that's not a perfect life if you missed all those things. And God said, no, I was actually molding you into what you are right now. You are called to be a prophet as well as you are called in the ministry and everything else. So it's like I was molding you. So that journey that you thought was robbed of was actually a blessing. And oh my God, when I heard that and I looked at it and I said, man, when God showed me that, I was like, wow. That's all I said is wow. You know, I was blown away. I was blown away by it. It was like, it actually gave me tears. It made me start crying. It made me, you know what I'm saying? It made me start looking on my life in a different way. It made me start appreciating now even more. So I said, so you tell me, God, that since that was all like that, so then right now what we really doing is we really building, right? We building right now, right, God? And you know, and I'm laughing because I'm telling you, my relationship with God is just different. It's like I talk to him like he's cool, you know what I'm saying? Because he is, you know, and it's not like it gives me the right to sin. But God is cool. He's really cool. He's not like all uptight like everybody used to. Back in the days, it made me feel like he was all uptight. He sat up there with this big stick beating on people. That's you know, if you did something wrong, he threw you off of a bridge. And I found out that that's not the God that I serve. And that's my Father. And that's my best friend. You know, that's my everything. You know what I'm saying? I found out that that's not what God's all about. You know what I'm saying? It's not. He's helping us. He's molding us. You know what I'm saying? His spirit speaks through us. He's something that I can't describe. There's no one like him. You know what I'm saying? When they used to say there's no one like Jesus, you know, they're singing, and I'm looking at them like, back in the days, I'm looking at them like, but there is. Some people, they, you know, I'm thinking, but now the experience that I have, I knew no one was like him. First off, I couldn't see it. I just could feel it. But you know, it was just, it's different now. And it's more of now God's like, you can enjoy your life. You don't have to be perfect. Nothing about you has to be perfect to come to me. You know what I'm saying? To come to me. And when you go through those things, don't run from me. Come to me. Because I can help you. Like there'll be times where I will go through different stuff. And I'll be like, and maybe I reacted in a bad way, you know, in a way like maybe I cussed somebody out, you know, or I had a bad thought or whatever. And I would actually run from God. I would be like, he ain't trying to hear me. I just said a cuss word. He ain't trying to hear me. You don't want to hear nothing I got to say. You know, and now it's like I run to him. I'm going straight to him. The other day, I got mad about something. I ran all the way up in the prayer closet and shut the door. My prayer altar, and shut the door and said, I'm not coming out until my attitude is changed. I said, God, I'm staying right up in here with you, which I know you're everywhere, except for, you know, you're everywhere, including at my altar. But I said, I'm going to sit right here at your feet until my attitude changes. You know what I'm saying? And then my thoughts, of course, because the mind is the enemy's battle. You know, the mind is basically the devil's playground. That's what, you know, because he's always busy trying to get you into some thoughts that is reckless, you know. And then it's like, I remember Pastor Kim said that the devil, Satan, does not actually come in. She said something like this. He doesn't actually like come. We leave a door open for Satan to come and start messing with us. So I had to understand, okay, Angela, what was on your mind the whole time when you reacted this way? Because sometimes we're not prepared. We don't have our armor. We don't have our armor on, our gear. You know what I'm saying? Armed, you know, armed with the word of God. We don't have it on. You know what I'm saying? And I think at that moment when we're going through some kind of, we're allowing sin to come in. We might be thinking of some stuff all day that we've been thinking about. We shouldn't have had our minds on it. And it's like when we do that, it's like basically, hold on, let me do this. When we do that, that's like basically you leaving the door open for the enemy, because he's like, okay, you've been meditating on this stuff all day and you ain't been meditating on the word. Now I'm about to hit you with this, bow. And then when you get hit with it, you're standing there talking about how am I going to fight this. So I just ran all the way up in the altar, all up in there, slammed the door closed and said, I ain't coming out till my attitude changes. Attitude not only changed, then that's when God starts opening up the doors to other things. He started like revealing to me who I needed to, it went from, he started revealing to me who I needed to forgive, you know, who I needed to let go, what I needed to let go of, you know, like some anger that was inside of me that I was angry about. It went from, this is why this is here, you know, this is why you feel this way, because this is going on inside of you. It went from that, running up into the closet. See, the enemy's stupid. He ran me up in the prayer altar. And little did he know, I came out knowing some things, even more than what I did before I went in. That's how God is. You know what I'm saying? That's how God is. Because see, when you being squeezed, he'll squeeze you, You know what I'm saying? And then you're going to run up into God, you know what I'm saying? Run straight up into God, and then you're going to be working out some other things. That means you get ready for another season. You moving forward. And that's what I had did. It was like, even though I was going through, I was like, I'm still moving. I'm still going. I'm still going to still do this. I'm still going to keep on, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't stopping. It was like, you know, Satan thought he had me, but he didn't. You know what I'm saying? And so God is good, and God has been, oh man, I cannot tell you how much God has just been, man. And when he said, you know, and I prayed and I said, God, I want to get to know you. I want to know you differently than how I knew you when I was younger. You know, when I was in my 20s, my 30s, you know, I want to know you. I want to get to know who you are. You know what I'm saying? I want to know who you are. Seriously. I was like, I don't just want to know you as G-O-D, God. You know what I'm saying? I don't just want to know you as that. I want to know you as everything, my friend, you know, my husband, my everything. You know what I'm saying? Just everything. I want to get to know you of more. And he's just been revealing himself, and it's awesome. And one thing I've learned out of my 50 years, one thing I've learned, and I ain't afraid to tell my age, because God said you look nice for your age. So be thankful for your age. You gotta live in order, and you gotta live in order to get old. Unless you want to die, and you don't want to live to get older. And if you don't want to get old, then you're gonna have to die to do that. And I'm proud of my age. So all the 50 years that I've lived, one thing I know for sure is to trust God on everything. If I told myself, I said, if I don't know nothing else, I know to trust God. Trust him with everything, because you got to trust him with your life. You got to trust him with your finances. You got to trust him with dealing with different people. You got to ask, you should seek him on everything you do. And at the end of the day, everything in life leads to God. If you do anything on the outside of God, you've already failed. So I know out of my 50 years to trust God, no matter what. It don't matter what is going on. It don't matter anything. I have to trust God. And I know that had I done that back in the days, even when he says, don't be with this person, trust God. Don't do this. Don't take that job. Trust God. Trust that he knows. If he says do it, trust him. Trust that if he gave it to you, he's not going to let you lose it. You know what I'm saying? Everything in life leads back to God. I don't care what it is. So my main thing, So my main thing is the one thing I've learned out of my 50 years. People say, well, you learn more. Of course. But the main thing that I've learned out of my 50 years of living on this earth is to trust God, regardless. I would trust nobody else. I mean, I ain't going to say I never trust people, but trust God. I got to trust God to know who you are. You know what I'm saying? That's that person. I got to trust God to know if you trying to get over on me. There has been times whereas God has told me to remove people out of my life, and I thought that it was, no, God, you got to be making a mistake. These people don't act like that. There's no way they can be like that. Then God start, okay, so since they doing that, I'm going to reveal it to you. Then he start unraveling them. They start unraveling. You know what I'm saying? God starts showing me. Excuse me. God starts showing me. I'm going to show you exactly what we working with here. And he started unraveling and showing me. And he said, now do you believe me? And I was like, oh my God. So everything in life leads back to trusting God. I don't care what it is. It could be my life on you know what I'm saying? If I'm laying there and for my health, I got to trust God. If it's my business, I got to trust God. You know what I'm saying? If it's a relationship, I got to trust God. Whether it is the relationship for me or it's not, I got to trust God, because God knows everything. There's nobody on this earth that knows more than God. Nobody. And if they think they do, they already done messed up. They already done messed up. It's the rap. They already done messed up. And lean not on your own understanding, lean on God's. Because, and I'm getting off here, but I'm going to jump right back on here in a second. But if they think that they know more than God, or they, you know, people really, when people start quoting stuff and they be like, that's wisdom. You know, I know now God has told me this. You have to have my wisdom. My wisdom is what's going to lead you in this world. Your wisdom, we quote words, like we'll be quoting words, right? And we'd be like, that's because I'm 50 and I could quote a word, or I'm 49, or I'm whatever, 40 something. I can quote words over top of these young people and everything else, or whatever. But that's your own wisdom. That's not, so if we have so much wisdom, why couldn't we turn this, how come no one actually knows how to, if we're so wise, why nobody don't have a cure yet? Why come nobody came up with a cure yet for this coronavirus? Okay, if we had wisdom like we think we got, how come we're still making the same mistakes that we made before? That's why God said, lean on my understanding, not on your own. We think because we can quote something or we heard something, we actually read it or set up and thought about it and then came out with it, and then we throw it at somebody and say, this is the truth. This is truth. You know what I'm saying? How people say this is truth. This is truth. What I'm speaking and saying is truth. Facts. You know what I'm saying? And it's really not. Only one has the facts is God. That's it. And I've learned that now. I have listened to people's wisdom and their wise words, and it led me up a dark alley, down a dark road. So God said, lean not on your own understanding, but it's okay to quote some things, you know, like things that say, what don't kill you will make you strong. You know, that's a good little quote there. But when people start saying you made the same mistake because, or you went back to this and this because of that. Okay, unless God says that to me that I did, because some of those mistakes actually led me to my purpose. So it's like it might have been a mistake in the people's eyes, but like God told me, you didn't miss out on nothing. That led you to your purpose. That led you to your purpose. But see, I used to listen to people and say, you're making mistakes. You choose bad on different things in life. You this, you that, you this, you that. And then it made me feel low and low and low and low. Where I felt like everything I went through in life, I was robbed. Everything I went through, you ain't learned nothing. You know, I used to say you ain't learned SHIT. But, you know, it was like you start feeling guilty about it. God's opinion about me is different. And we've been going through some things, me and God. You know what I'm saying? And he's been talking to me. That's why you have to listen to God. Because when you listen to, I used to listen to people. I ain't gonna lie. And I listened to people that didn't know about their own life. And that's just it. We lean not on your own understanding, but lean on God's. And that's anybody. And there'll be people who think they know your life and they don't even know their own life. Unless they speak in wisdom from God. Like there's a few mentors and people that I listen to in the body of Christ. But I got to go in there and see if it's correct. Now, if it's something, sometimes you just know that you discern that spirit, and you know it's from God. You know what I'm saying? You know that what they're speaking is from God, and God is saying it. And there's people that you do trust that basically, you know that God has led you to that ministry, or led you to the people, or led you to that certain people, and you listen to it. But I'm not listening to everything everybody says. There's false prophets walking around and everything else. You know what I mean? And people leading you up wrong. It's something they tried, so they want you to try it, and then your results wind up worse than theirs. And the thing is that everybody thinks that they got everything balanced out in life, and we don't. We don't even know what's going to happen around the corner. We pray each day, seeking God, trusting God that we're going to live to see another day. You know, thanking God. No one knows what tomorrow's going to bring, so I can't trust everything. That's why now I ask God who I should be connected with, who should be in my life, who should I be around. I've been around some jokers. You know what I'm saying? I've been around some people who basically I thought that